Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Mindy's Best. I'm so excited to have you here with me today. We are going to be in the kitchen cooking up something that I love. This time of year is super exciting. It's one of my favorite times of year. Fall kind of brings in that holiday vibe. We get to be together with our families a lot more. But before we get to the holidays of Thanksgiving and Christmas, we have Halloween. And we have something that I have done my entire life when it comes to Halloween that I'm gonna share with you guys today. As far back as I can remember, we got together and had chili before we headed out trick-or-treating. I've done it since I was a little tiny girl. I remember going to my aunt's house and we'd always come back in and have some orange chili and apple cider, and we'd go back out for some more trick-or-treating. So I'm going to share my recipe with you guys today that I've been making for as long as I can remember. I don't believe it's my mom's recipe, but I know this is one I found early on in marriage and found that I just really loved. I'm really excited to share that with you guys today, but the holidays are so much fun. There's so many exciting things that come when the fall air comes in and the temps start to cool down. So I'm really excited to share this recipe with you today, and I hope that you like it. There's a couple of different variations that I'll tell you guys about that you can do, but if you don't have a traditional menu that you make on Halloween, this might be the time to start. I had a friend telling me the other day that she makes jack-o'-lantern grilled cheese. That sounds awesome. She says, my kids just won't eat chili, but I promise you guys this recipe is really good. So I'll tell you, this recipe can be made on the stove or in the crock pot. I prefer the crock pot because why not? I just can make it in the morning whenever I have some time, leave it all day, and then it's ready for us that evening. I'm not worried about getting my kids in their costumes and doing all that. It's cooking while I'm doing all of that. So I'm going to opt for that option today. I have my amazing crock pot. do you want me to tell you something embarrassing? I have 3 crock pots because sometimes you just need more than one, and then I feel like I'm always asked to borrow one out. So I have a couple crock pots, but I have 2 of these particular ones. I love it. It's a Farberware. It works really great. What I really love about it, which might seem really silly, is the cord retracts back into the machine, so I don't have to worry about a cord everywhere. But okay, we're gonna get started. This is just a typical chili. It has ground beef in it. We are going to put dark red kidney beans, light red kidney beans, an onion, salsa. That's taking out the work of cutting up a lot of vegetables. Chili powder, corn, tomato sauce, and I am going to use some petite diced tomatoes. So it's fairly simple. You can add whatever you want to it to make it fancy for you. Okay, so first things first, what I'm gonna start with is I'm going to brown my beef. I just got it here on the stove. I'm just gonna break it up into small pieces, just brown beef like you normally would. Make sure it's cooked through, and that's what we're gonna start with. Okay, so you can do this while the beef is cooking or just after it finishes before you put it in. We are just going to take our light red kidney beans and our dark red kidney beans, and we're just going to rinse them off. I just usually put them in a strainer over the sink and then rinse them really well with water. Okay, so we have our kidney beans washed and rinsed, and then I have drained the grease off of the beef. They are both just sitting waiting for me. I'm going to get everything else ready before we add it all into the crock pot. I don't like onions, but I can handle them if they are cooked and they are soft. I usually put in a small onion or half of a regular onion. Another option is to do this dehydrated chopped onion from Costco. I really like it. You can just sprinkle some in. Then you're not sitting here crying while you're getting ready for dinner. So I have a solution though. If you typically cry, which I'm pretty sure you all do, when you cut an onion, I have to introduce to you the Chop Wizard. My mother-in-law gave this to me a couple of years ago, and it was after Thanksgiving when we had chopped up all these vegetables, and we were just crying from the onions. There was messes everywhere, but this thing's amazing. So you open it. It has a little grate that you can put the onion on, and then you slam it down on it and it dices it up perfectly, stores it all in this bottom thing, and it also has measuring cups along the side. So this is one of my very favorite kitchen tools ever. I'll show you guys how it works, but I'm gonna get all my cans open and get ready to just pour everything in. Okay, are you guys ready for this? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna leave my little Chop Wizard open right here. I'm just gonna cut the sides off of this and take off all this yucky part that we don't want or need. Okay, now that I've gotten it all completely peeled off, everything, all the skin off of it, I'm just going to slice it really thinly, unless you like chunkier onions. But I am just going to slice it, and then I'm gonna show you guys how awesome this chop wizard is. All right, I'm going to put it in, and then I'm simply just going to slam it down, and you can see all of the onions are all sliced up. I'm going to use this because it cuts out the tears and it makes it super awesome to use, and I can cut up an onion in a matter of minutes. Okay, you guys, we have done all of the hardest part, would you believe it? Okay, I told you this recipe was super easy. So now we're just going to combine everything. So let me tell you, you can use just regular tomato sauce. That's what I've chosen to use because I don't like things super chunky. If I do have a salsa, I will usually blend it up so there's no chunks. But to add a little bit of texture in there, I am adding 1 can of tomatoes, but you can do all diced tomatoes. It just depends on a couple things, how thick you want it, how chunky you want it. I like mine pretty thin and not chunky, besides of course like the beans and the meat. Those are some of the things that I do. I go a little thinner and a little less chunky, but it'll totally depend on how you want it. So we're going to start. I'm going to start by putting in my beef. I'm gonna put that on the bottom. We're gonna go, it doesn't matter what, honestly, when you put things in because we're all just gonna mix it together anyways. Then we're going to pour in all of our beans. Then I'm going to also add in my onion now. And I know that this will get all softened up because it's gonna cook all day long, so I won't get those really crunchy bites of onion in my chili. Next, I'm going to add in my tomato sauce, and I might need to add more than 3 cans. Okay, I'm gonna add in my salsa. I need about 1 cup to 1.5 cups, so I'm going to add almost the entire jar, but not quite all of it. And then last but not least, we're going to put in our chili powder. Every chili has to have chili powder. We're going to put in 2 tablespoons. And if you guys want this full recipe, I do have the recipe up on the blog. It's one of our favorites, so you can try it out. And if you're not a chili person, there are plenty of other yummy, warm soup recipes that'll be on the blog for you guys. A couple of my favorites are the Zuppa Toscana copycat from Olive Garden. It's very good. Also, we have one on there that is a creamy corn chowder. That one's really yummy and hearty too, so there's so many good options. Okay, I'm going to leave this cooking all day long, and so that later on, whenever my kids get home from trick-or-treating or just before they go out, they can have something in their bellies and it will keep them warm. So you guys, there's a couple of different ways I love to serve chili. There's no rule book on how you should do it. In fact, one of the ways I've heard of most, I don't even have sitting here. But one of my very favorite ways is a bread bowl. Our grocery store down the street makes these really cute orange bread rolls, and then they have a little green piece of dough that they put on top to be the stem for a pumpkin. Those are darling. These are just regular sourdough bread bowls, and these are so good. So those can be fun, very filling, of course. Another way, this is the way I grew up having them, is just with cheesy breadsticks. If you're the homemaking type, go ahead and make them from scratch, or use some Rhodes rolls and roll them out, let them rise all day. That's a really yummy way to make them. This time I went ahead and got some from the bakery, and these are really good. I can smell the spices in them, and they're gonna be fantastic. You can go ahead and just get a regular bowl of chili and put some chips in it and scoop it on up. But before you do that, every chili should be topped with sour cream and cheese. That's the best way. The sour cream makes it all creamy inside, and then the cheese just has those stringy goodness of cheese just going everywhere. It's my favorite. So I'm probably gonna opt for the bowl with some breadsticks, and I'll probably throw in some chips in there because that's just fun too. But there are so many different ways to have this. A lot of people I know have it with cornbread, like 10 out of 10. They've never had chili without cornbread. I've never had chili with cornbread. So You guys, whatever your style is, make sure it's a good one because there are so many different ways to have food. And that's the thing, this recipe is so versatile because you can leave in the corn, you can take out the corn. If there's other stuff you want to add in, if you want to do black beans or pinto beans, whatever kind of beans you want to do, just make it your own. And that's what's so fun about recipes is you can take something off of the internet that you find and adjust it to just how you like it. All right, you guys, there you have it. My very favorite Halloween recipe that I have. It's bringing my family around the table and spending time with them as they run out to get all the candy. You guys, I will tell you, I haven't always made homemade chili. There has been several years where I opened a can of chili and it was awesome and we loved it, and the memory is still there because we still did the tradition. I absolutely love the traditions that come along with this time of year, so whatever yours are, if you're just starting out your family, think of some traditions that you'd like to start with your own family. This is one that has been carried on for years and I'm so grateful. So you guys, I always say do your best because your best is enough, and I mean it. If it's a can of chili, if it's homemade chili, if it's, you know what, you stopped and got McDonald's, whatever, like honestly, whatever you need to do, just do your best because that's all you have to give. And if you can lay your head down on your pillow at night and just go, you know what, I gave it my all today, then I think that is winning. So I love you guys. I hope you like this recipe. I hope you all have a fun and safe Halloween, and I cannot wait to see you next week. See you later, everyone.